Hey everyone, how's it going? I thought I'd make this little quick video here. It's been requested by a couple of people. I know Brad Grundy. I was talking to the East versus West event about this issue, and he's requested it from me as well, and a few other people. So I thought I'd make a quick video about ulnar pain in arm wrestling. Now, I started first experiencing ulnar pain when I was a low hand top roller. This really started to come into action when I was low handing at the Ottawa Open back in November 2023. Every match I would try and drag, and as I would drag, I'd try and keep my riser, but you'd have a lot of pressure coming down on your wrist there, on the top of your wrist, and your riser would end up getting a little bit injured through the bottom of your wrist there. Now, I went months with this discomfort, and I eventually sort of realized that any time that I tried to low hand or can opener, or any time I used my pronation, basically, and even my rise at points, it was very uncomfortable. Especially if someone took my rise and it ended up dumping my riser, that was something that was really causing me a lot of discomfort. So after months and months of not doing anything about it, I decided to look into it. As I said, this is my advice. By no way am I a registered whatever doctor or anything like this, so you guys take this with a pinch of salt. This is something that did work for me though, so you know, if you are looking for a fix, this as an arm wrestler is something that I found worked the best for me. So immediately I started thinking, okay, what is that I can do here? So I went and picked up some sports tape. This isn't sports tape. We've got some guys working downstairs on our house right now, and this is the closest thing I could find. It's just masking tape. So when it comes to the ulnar muscle, what you want to really be doing is elevating it. So you can really get a lot of relief by sort of grabbing your hand at the bottom here, pushing your finger up and back, like this. So when you do this, it basically just realigns everything. And if I could, I would just walk around like this all day. And there was a lot of points where I was just kind of holding this throughout the day, and it felt like it eased a lot of the pain. So a way to replicate this with your sports tape here is to first put it on the palm of your hand like this, and then come round the back and up and over the back of the wrist and down here. So it looks a little bit like this. So basically what that allows it to do is really pull on that bottom part of your hand and just keep it there. Obviously you can add a few more pieces of tape wherever you feel is comfortable, but anything that elevates the back part of your palm there up into your forearm, that's a good thing. That's what you're going to really feel that. So if you can do that throughout the day, that's great. As much of that as possible. That's something that really helped me. Paired with obviously here you need to be doing your blood flow as well. Blood flow is really, really important. It's another thing that I neglected for a long time, and as soon as I started doing this problem was fixed within a week. For blood flow, typical rise. Now when you're doing blood flow with this specifically, I didn't. You can go to, but you'd have to do this extremely lightly. You can dump your rise and bring it all the way through. But as I said, you're gonna have to have basically just a loading pin on at that point. It's gonna feel really, really uncomfortable, as well as you don't want to be doing table time here. And if you are, I was just hooking mainly, and that's where my hook game got really strong. But for me, I just stay off the table. Just do some left hand, just do some right hand, whichever one isn't injured. So for me here, I was just kind of bringing the rise almost parallel, and then popping it up straight from there, just backwards, just super light. As I said, you can do it full range of motion, but at that point you really should be lowering the weight is basically to nil. Obviously pair this with your high cup, your low cup. You can do all your regular exercises, all the ones that don't cause you extreme discomfort. For that, most of the time it was cupping, which was great. You know, you can do your fat grip handles, whatever it might be. Now this is another one that I didn't think of until one day I woke up in the morning, because when it comes to these sort of injuries, a lot of the time you're going to do your rehab as well as bands as well. That's also great. With your bands, you can also pair pronation as well, so you can rise, but you can also do a little bit of top roll and rise as well, which is really good. So your pronation and your rise sort of paired. That is something that was really attacking that bottom part of your hand. Anytime your hand dumps, you want to negate that. So yeah, as I said, another part of this was when it's cool. So when you're not doing any rehab and you've not got your tape on and you've not got anything of the sort, when it's cool, it's going to be more prone to stiffness, right? So through the night is a big one. Luckily, my girlfriend at the time had a wrist brace. So throughout the night, I'd put on the wrist brace on the right arm here, just to keep it in place, honestly. Can you pair this with your sports tape? Absolutely. But the wrist brace at this point almost does the same thing. So throughout the night, I'd have my wrist brace on. And it is a little bit weird, but honestly, you don't really notice it. It's just to stop your arm from moving, and because a lot of the time when you sleep, you know, you're lying like this, or your hand or your wrist ends up in awkward positions. That can just make it worse, honestly. For me anyway, I was waking up and it was just always stiff, always sore, and it felt like I was not making any progress. So as soon as I started wearing this was the game changer for me. Yeah, and as I said, you know, pairing this with your pronation is really important. Now, I'm not necessarily a super long levered arm wrestler, so now I've been focusing a lot more on my up pressure. And by up pressure, I mean my static push when it comes up to the table, my rise, my high grip. So now I would consider myself a traditional sort of posting top roller. With this, obviously, I need to work on my back pressure, and there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle that I'm still putting together. But also in this one, I've also had a little bit of back of the wrist pain. Now this is something I'm just going to also quickly go into as well. So forget ulnar pain, this is more back of the wrist pain. So when I say that, I mean it. I find it very difficult right now to put any weight when I'm doing push-ups. So the ways I've sort of found this for me is when you pull out your hand. So honestly, pulling it out and sort of holding it there for 20 seconds, like pulling your wrist out from your forearm, feels great. So doing that, retraction, subtraction, all that sort of good stuff, here and there throughout the day is really, really comforting. Also pulling out and down and sort of wiggling around feels really good. So it's in the back of the wrist there. I've been pairing super light high cup, and this works that area really, really well. So it's my pronation. When my pronation gets attacked from a hooking position, this specifically right now is causing me a lot of strain. So when I'm pairing up my high cup, like this, I'm taking a nice deep grip. I'm taking maybe even a lower grip at points, and I'm letting it sort of take my pronation, and I'm bringing it back ever so slightly. And I'm doing that, I want to say at least 500 reps of basically the loading pin. I've got a 2-part pulley system, so that's super light. It's basically nothing. As well as obviously your bands and stuff as well. You can use sports tape, absolutely. I've still been using this this wrist brace as well for this. Just another way of stopping it from crimping or whatever, just flattening out throughout the night and getting all twisted and contorted. So I've still been using the wrist brace here. There's another way of sort of strengthening this as well. For this one especially, you can be coming back with your bands as well. So you can do reverse cup this way. That's a nice one to rehab it. There's also your push-ups, but this is sort of when it starts to get a lot more strong, and this is another way of really preventing the injury. So I'm going to tilt this camera down real quick here. So when you're doing your push-ups, do them so that your arms are flat, and go on your knees for this sort of style of push-up, and it's kind of a forearm push-up. You're just pushing up from your hands and back down again. And this would be whilst your knees are on the ground and you're sort of leaning over, and you're just sort of pushing up and back down again. And what this basically allows is it really strengthens right up the back of the forearm here, and really just and keeps that wrist really nice and healthy. So that's something I'm sort of working on, paired with a band maybe that's going around my chest, up on a pulley system, whatever it might be, just to keep that support, because right now it's really tender. So I'm just kind of doing that ever so slightly. And guys, you know, you can pair this stuff with BPC 157, TP 500, peptides, all that kind of good shit for recovery. Absolutely, this works in conjunction. I've been doing the cider vinegar as well. So when my ulnar got a little tender there, I was doing the cider vinegar diet as well, which is, I say diet, it's basically just a shot of cider vinegar. And you know, you can put your ginger, you can put your all types of nice other nutrient shit in there as well, just like an energized shot. But that cider vinegar was really proving me well. One thing I try and stay away from is your anti-inflammatories, so your ibuprofen, stuff like that. You know, as well as painkillers. I'm not a huge fan of painkillers when it comes to arm wrestling. Advil, whatever, aspirin's a little bit different. Especially though anti-inflammatories, I kind of stay away. Stops the blood coming to you, makes it a lot harder for blood flow, a lot harder for rehab, stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, this is kind of a little summary of what I've been doing. As I said, you know, you can go to somewhere professional and get some professional help as well if this is still not resolving your injuries. But I thought I'd make this little video here and put it out there. It's actually turned into quite a lot longer of a video than I would have thought, but yeah, something that I'm super passionate about is blood flow. You know, trying to take away is your any injuries as well. And you can get a ball as well. You can get a ball. You can roll it around. Check Ray Lipin's channel for that one. You can also put it on the back of your wrist and sort of roll it around as well. That's great. That's great stuff. Just sort of breaking down some of the muscle fiber that's going on in there and the sort of build up. But anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more arm wrestling stuff. This was more of an instructional video today. Check it out. We got a little thing going on here, and this is my pulley here that I'm using. But yeah, stay massive.